Advice from Carmelo Anthony trainer turned Baltimore ref during halftime.
Okay? If he's not getting 300 to 400 shots in a day, he don't want to play basketball. He just want to play, show mommy the pictures at work. And daddy to get my son that one move. You understand? If he's not hitting free throws, hitting layups, but got Jordans on and all that skin tape stuff on, you're wasting your money.
Yeah, I know.
Some of them just video ball, they thumb play.
Yeah.
You need to say, you know what? Why don't you play in a video game thing? Maybe you can do good in that tournament. Because basketball, I don't think you like basketball.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Carmelo Anthony came through me. I got a lot of bros came through me. Trust me. They listen. But these here group here, they don't listen. Parents need to just sit on the side, just don't say nothing. When they get him in the car, tell him what he did wrong. I'm spending all this money on you. You can't make a layup. You can't make a free throw. But all you want to do is shoot threes. I didn't spend all this money for you to miss 10 threes and miss 20 free throws.
Right.
Okay? How about getting your body in shape? It's a push. I'm 62. 62. None of them in shape. This is a daggone shame. It's a shame.
Well, I thank you.
Advice from
So yeah,
I agree with him.
Is he right?
He is right, and it's funny because when I was coaching youth football, I was it was this kid. He was really good. His name was AJ. He was really good, but the thing was, like, whenever we went to the sideline, when the rest of the team went over to the side, he always ran over to the side where his dad was, and it used to annoy me. But I'm not the head coach, so I can't really get involved with that. I was the DB's coach. He was a running back, so I wasn't coaching him. So I remember one time he yelling to his son during the game. He yelling to his son, "Go in there, get in the game, son, get in the game." And I'm like, "We on defense, man." It's like, "Go in." He like, "Go in that safety, go in that safety." I was like, "No, the hell he not. He can stay right over there." And the thing was, it's not that he wasn't good. It's the fact that he just didn't listen.
Yeah.
It's like, because you try to teach him one thing, but he's like running back to his dad who taught him something else. I'm like, I'm not saying that what your dad was teaching you was wrong, but I'm trying to teach you how to do things in this system that we running. And I think that's where, like, what you need to do is teach your son how to fit this game, how to play the position the right way, not the way you played back in the day or not the way you played on the streets with your buddies. Like, you got to play it because, like, when you start playing in a structured game, you got to have some type of skill set. You got to learn how to do everything, not just that one thing. And especially in basketball, you got to know how to do so much.
Right.
And you can't just be that one person. And like that video I was just watching earlier where it was like, Gilbert Arenas said, "Why is the game so unentertaining? Is because there's no defense." He said, "Get rid of." And I hate to be somebody to support this, but he's basically said, "Get rid of all the Europeans." He said, "Look at all the top 10 defenders in the NBA, and tell me how many are white men." And it's very telling. I mean, I'm not saying that we white people don't have a place in the game because it's a game. Everybody has a place in the game. Everybody should be able to play.
This isn't new information, though. It's always.
But it's just funny. But I think what it is, it's like people get into the game and they only try to develop that one aspect of the game.
European players come in having all that shit developed because, well, I mean, if you go through the AAU circuit, you don't really work on your skills as much as you run well. You just play games against other teams more often than not. You're not really going through drills and all that shit as much, or working on the basics of the game or anything like that. And all of those kids from overseas coming and having acquired all of those skills, they just a little bit slower than your average American NBA player.
Yeah.
A little slower in the feet, for obvious reasons. We just faster. So, they always come in with that skill, but there are things that they do better than a lot of your average NBA players. Maybe they're not as fast on defense, but it ain't like, let's see, Halliburton don't play as much defense. Lillard's not especially known for his defense. There's a few more, really. I mean, it's not like it's a surprise that there were offense first players in the NBA or that there are bad defenders but good offensive players. I mean, not everybody's a 5-tool player. It's just the way it is. You come in with skills, you develop your best skills, you work on your imperfections the best you can. You're the best.
Some people just don't do it at all.
Right. Some people just come in and live the lifestyle and don't put in the work.
JJ Redick?
I don't know. JJ Redick had one skill, and now that skill made him like $100 million. But he always had just that one skill. I don't know if he necessarily got better at it, considering where the game's evolved with the three-pointer. He could have been that player had he actually put the effort in. He could have been a guy just running off the screens left and right and just throwing it up. But he didn't put that kind of work in, clearly. Not that I'm against his skills or what kind of player he was. He was all right. But fuck Duke. Let me be on record with that. Fuck Duke University.
It wasn't me. I think that was you.
That was me.
What you get? You got a notification? What happened?
Okay, let me see. Fine. We put in my password and all this shit. Tyrese Maxey will miss the game, and Mel Gibson, Caitlin Clark, helped set a TV mark or something. That's all. Nothing special. What we got on the news? Wait, let me hit before you get into that. Let me hit that button so we can split these into different clips on the Opus. Where are you? There you is.
Well, Opus do it for you.
Man, I gotta turn that up. What was that? What was that? As it just kept playing over there, I fucked that whole transition up, but whatever.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Live from the Bench with GQ and Boulevard.
And the waist getting Boulevard.
Disgusting. All of that was disgusting. It's just like all of that.
Hot.
You know who he reminds me of? What's that dude's name?
Hot.
He reminds me of
all that he
just did. All that he reminds me of the first overall pick of the NFL draft this year. What's his name? Devontae Sweat, whatever his name is.
Definitely ain't Devontae Sweat. Nah.
That's what all that was. You was him. That dude needs to lose some weight. That's all I'm going to say.
That man is 366 pounds. There is no way you can physically compare me to him. He has at least 100 pounds on me. Probably not much more than 100 pounds. So I might be about 263 right now. 262.
Maybe. Well, but today.
I ain't got man boobs like that dude either. So I get to sit in on the push-ups. I did a lot of push-ups on the daily.
Oh, shit. He tried to
like the top of me is like Goldberg-esque. The middle of me is like Fat Albert or Cedric the Entertainer or something. And the bottom is like Usain Bolt. Built really fucking weird though.
All right.
God, no one cares.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode.
You were not turning me on. What?
Today's episode, we're going to be discussing some breaking news or whatever.
Breaking news?
Why is it that I couldn't find it? There it is. We're going to talk about some breaking news or whatever. So things have been happening and we've got it's a lot of stuff going on. So here it is. The king of the Eagles offensive line.
Oh no. Why? I'm so miserable now.
Jason Kelce has announced his retirement from the NFL after 13 seasons with the wonderful Midnight Green. Go Birds.
Go. Yeah, at least we got another Hall of Famer.
So with Jason Kelce retiring, Junior Boulevard,
Mhm.
what's next for the Birds?
I guess Cam Jurgens and Tyler Steen. I do not have high hopes for them, but I mean, they got Stoutland, so the skies, I mean, they could be capable. Doesn't seem like the depth that they develop tends to be all that great, all things considered. You got dudes like, well, Lopeta and all them that don't really turn into much. But
So
there's supposed to be something with Steen, some athleticism. Supposed to be some athleticism with Jurgens. I mean, Steen's a big boy, but he's got good feet apparently. But who knows?
I think what I'm starting to think about Stoutland is that I don't think he's good at developing offensive linemen. I think he puts people in a position to just be good enough to win. Like I feel like he just schemes offensive line like really good. Like you know how you get coaches that know how to scheme offenses really, really well. I feel like Stoughton knows how to scheme offensive linemen very, very well. Not so much he's developing them individually or developing players. I feel like he's like scheming offensive linemen really well. I don't know. Because I'm not there. I'm not in the room. But
Right.
because you get what's his name? When he was here, he was doing what's his name? Vaitai or Sayamalu. They were okay here. They went over there and they went to other teams. They're available now.
I mean, there was a reason it was so easy to let both of those players go, though.
Mm-hmm. So it's like they were.
If they paid the ones that stuck around.
Yeah, because it's like we lost Sayamalu. We went away, and they put Jurgens at right guard. And we
Jason.
Yeah, this is gonna be painful, but just like knowing that, it's just like I feel like Cam Jurgens. I think Jurgens is it's like how you get players, like you get players that's only good in the system. It's like you get O linemen or like he's like the system that the offensive linemen succeed in. Not to take anything away from these other these great offensive linemen in Philadelphia.
Right.
I just feel like Stoutland has this skill set where he's able to just develop the guys on the team and develop that offensive line. Yeah. So that's my thought. But
I have no idea.
It's really gonna hurt not having Jason Kelce coaching that offensive line. But I guess we have no choice but to accept it and just see what happens with Jurgens and Steve. It's painful because it's just like we thinking that we're probably gonna make some progress, get back to the Super Bowl, and it's just like, nah, it's not happening. I don't see us repeating. We're not going back anytime soon.
No,
That's the sad
outlook
part.
is not good right now.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse as this episode goes. I promise you. Just keep a watch. Let's get to the next topic. Oh.
We won't have Lane Johnson for too much longer. I assume he's getting up there as well.
Right. This is
next topic. This is too sad for me. This is too sad for me. Yay!
Well,
funny story. Yay! This is a good story. Wait for it.
Broncos country. Let's cry. Do we have a sound for this? It's not.
I don't know. It's not playing anything. I'm sending it. But whatever. Carry on.
Yeah. Broncos country. Let's cry. Russell Wilson has officially. Well, he hasn't been released yet, but he's been informed that he will be released at the year start. When the new year begins, he will be released. That's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny for Denver. Like for Russ, I'm like maybe Russ can rejuvenate himself and become the quarterback that we know he can be. Because I honestly don't think that any of the problems that went down in Denver has anything to do with Russ. Like, you traded to get me and gave up so much. Now that I'm here, I have nothing. Biggest, dumbest move ever. Then you hired coaches that can't do anything. Sean Payton was horrible without Drew Brees. He's not a good coach. He's done nothing without Drew Brees. I'm not surprised that they didn't go anywhere because he can't do anything without Drew Brees. Broncos country is crying right now. But Boulevard, I want you to give everybody the number that makes this story so funny.
Okay, so because he's been so bad, he's been really bad. He's actually costing the Denver Broncos $85 million in dead cap over the next 2 seasons. And I mean, that's a huge number. I mean, it's not like record setting, but it's pretty damn large, especially over the course of 2 seasons. That's about a sixth of the salary cap, a little over a sixth of the salary cap. I don't remember.
So what I heard is that's. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that's a chunk for the performance you got out of him. I mean,
yeah.
Can I break it down by numbers? Can I break it down? Can I break it down, please?
Yes.
Because,
yes.
I mean, I've been sitting on this thing from Warren Sharp on Twitter. It's this guy. I'm a fan of his site. I believe Walter.com, WalterFootball.com, something along those lines. Okay. He tweeted, in a nutshell, Broncos GM George Patton gave up 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a fifth, 3 players, a fourth to get Russell Wilson. Gave Russell Wilson $242 million. Got 2 years of Russell Wilson, back-to-back losing seasons, $85 million in dead cap space. Also, the general manager of the Broncos hired Nathaniel Hackett, who don't know shit about football. That's not him talking. That's me talking. But we all agree. Nathaniel Hackett don't really know shit about being a head coach. Meanwhile, Mike McDaniel, Brian Daboll, and Kevin O'Connor were sitting on the market and were hired after Denver hired Hackett. In short, boy should be fired. That's all I'm saying. George Patton should be fired. George Patton should be led to the firing squad, in fact. Get it? Because Patton. Here's my question. Who could use him now? Who could use Russell Wilson? Where will he go, I should say? Especially with all these quarterbacks that could go in the first round. Where is he going to go?
Honestly, I'll say send him to Washington.
Yeah, that's the same thing I said at first.
Because, I mean,
Pittsburgh,
because I feel like
England, Atlanta.
I wouldn't send him to Pitt. I'd send him to Washington. The reason why I say Washington, because he's older, and I feel like he's definitely the kind of quarterback that could probably, because you got this young guy, Sam Howell, there's something there for him. Now I'm very scared because I don't think Dan Quinn was the right choice for the Commanders. So I mean, you need a quarterback that has like some experience at your quarterback position. You don't want to draft a quarterback.
How about Minnesota?
I'd send him to Minnesota. Yeah, I'd send him to Minnesota. Yeah, I
Pittsburgh
completely forgot.
Pickens.
I feel like, yeah, that could work because he thrives with a really good running back. So he probably does bring the best out of that combo of Warren and Harris. So yeah, why not? I
was just throwing ideas off the top of my head, going conference by conference. I don't know. There's always a few teams that could use a veteran quarterback.
Yeah, the only reason I say Washington is because when you have a defensive-minded head coach to come back on a team who has only one, I believe, only one head coaching position in his career. I'm not sure. It would have to be way before I was even watching the game for me to think Dan Quinn has ever been a head coach outside of the Falcons.
He would not. I mean, Russell Wilson would not be happy in Washington.
I don't
He
think
seems
anybody
to
can be
like
happy in Washington.
attention, and he wouldn't get any out of in Washington.
Yeah, but I think the best thing for the team would be Russell Wilson. Either Russell Wilson or Kirk Cousins would be the best thing for Washington because they need an experienced quarterback to lead that team.
Kirk Cousins back to Washington, huh?
He
Wouldn't that
said he
be
was open to it. He said he was
Yeah.
open to it. So,
Russell
but yeah.
Wilson to Carolina. To back up Bryce Young. They compete with Bryce Young for a spot.
This is the problem. Why you got so many short quarterbacks is insane. Two short quarterbacks on the same
Because of Russell
team.
Wilson and Drew Brees.
All right, let's move on because we're gonna cry. We talk about
And
Russell.
then, yeah, I mean, Kyler. There's some people still convinced Kyler is a worthy quarterback to be a starter in the NFL. I'm not
He don't
fully
study.
convinced.
I'm 100% that man did not do any of his homework while he was away.
If Kyler Murray didn't succeed, Bryce Young would not be a quarterback in the NFL. If Russell Wilson didn't win a Super Bowl, Kyler Murray would not be a quarterback in the NFL. So,
if it wasn't for Michael Vick and Randall Cunningham,
I'm not really fond of this.
They would not be in those quarterbacks would not be in the league if it weren't for those guys. And they just don't do what
Right.
They don't do what those other guys did. It's just like it really puts a bad. It's like when you got guys like Bryce Young, is like you kind of put like a bad taste in the mouth for like what a mobile quarterback is because it don't look like Bryce Young being what the size that Bryce Young is. What they need to do, they should have been scheming like to get him more involved on the run, get him more comfortable running the ball, getting him out of the pocket, because having him stand in the pocket
Just basically play to his strengths.
Yeah. Like play
Gave
to
him
like
an
get him.
offense similar to the one he ran in Seattle that he actually succeeded with, but they didn't do that.
Yeah. And they don't do that with most mobile quarterbacks. Most mobile quarterbacks, they don't do that with them. And I think that's going to be the downfall of the mobile quarterback. Is I don't know. Everybody
A lot of them.
is mobile
I mean,
now.
a lot of them don't tend to have a long career of success as a starter.
Yeah.
Like after a while, the abuse starts to break them down. That's why we got to start figuring out a way to keep Jalen Hurts from running downfield too much and give him enough safety blankets. And like we got to figure out this protection now that what's his face is gone, now that Kelce's gone.
Yeah.
You got to figure out the plan if it's really going to work with Juergens and Steen, or do we go sign another good veteran to fill at least one of those two spots that's there now?
Yeah, I agree with that. Because Jason Kelce those are big shoes to fill. I don't know if Juergens is even close to ready to fill those shoes. I think what we need to do is like lower our expectations for this season because
I already did.
Yeah, Jason Kelce retiring, that takes a big chunk out of what you can really do as an offense. And like
I need somebody as trustworthy as he was in the middle of that line.
Yeah, because he was the king of that offensive line. He was like, all right. I honestly don't see the tush push being run. I'm not expecting the tush push to be run as much. I don't see them taking the shots that they were taking before. So I think you're going to see some difference. It's going to be a different team next year. I think what they need to do if we're going to be looking at the Eagles, and it's kind of funny because we were just talking about Russell Wilson and we're back at Philadelphia. Yeah. But
one of these things matters, and it ain't Russ.
Yeah. But I think what needs to happen with this change, they gotta figure out a way to keep Jalen off his back, and I don't know how do you do that without him running, especially with Kelce going. Jalen's gonna probably try to be on the move a lot more because he probably
Yeah.
isn't going to have. He's probably not going to have the same comfortability with Cam. I think this offseason they need to have him under center quite a bit with Cam Jurgens.
Right.
And that's something I think that they should be doing a lot more is having him under center. I don't see why not. Give some I formation, get a
Well, yeah, I
fullback.
mean, especially
Get
well,
that
he's going to be the center, so if he can't get the hang of it, I mean, then they're fucked because he's the center.
Mhm.
He's the guard. So they got it. I mean, they got to get it right because there's not really a plan B right now unless they sign somebody to free agency or draft another center guard and not for depth like an early pick.
And then what's funny was they drafted Landon Dickerson, and when he came in, he was listed as a center guard.
Mm.
And then,
That's a
then
big
they
ass center, man.
yeah, and then they drafted Jurgens, who was listed as a center guard. So I don't know.
Both of them are fucking guard tackles, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're big boys. They're too big to play center.
Yeah. Let's move on because obviously, Russ, no one cares that you're being released.
Nobody cares. I hope you do end up in Washington.
Oh shoot, yeah. Kirk Cousins to Atlanta, that's where the expectation, the rumors, stories are heading. Kirk Cousins to Atlanta. I like it.
Yeah, one of those brand name football people that was talking said something. I think it was Paul Antonio. I'm not 100% sure on memory, but one of them said that this is the rumor. I like it too. I mean, he loses Justin Jefferson, but he gets Pitts and London and what's his name? Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be his best offense. Like the best
Immediately.
offense to play with talent wise, potential wise anyway.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah. This team goes from almost there to there. Not saying so I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl team, but I'm saying that they're a team that's going to compete now. They're competitive when you bring in somebody like him because now you got a guy that can probably in a short time of an off season can develop something with Drake London, can help get something over there with I can't even remember who their second receiver was. God damn, my brain. It's not there. It's okay. Kyle Pitts. You got Kyle Pitts. You got Bijan. You got Algier. If Algier stays, yeah, I mean, because he's an effective runner in his own right. Kirk Cousins he's a game manager, and I like game managers. I'm not against a game manager, but
they're useful. I mean, they've turned it into a bad word of late, but it was never necessarily an insult. It was more of you're good, you're just not a star. That's what it was. Like, you're good, you're just not the man. You're not that guy. You ain't him. That's all it was.
I don't mind. See me when they say that, and because it has like this negative connotation to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at a game manager, a quarterback that's a game manager, and I say I wouldn't be upset having a quarterback that's a game manager because like you got a guy like Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is one of those kind of quarterbacks you'd probably expect to be a game changer.
Would you have been happy with Alex Smith as your quarterback?
Alex Smith, Utah, 11. Yep, Alex Smith would have been my. I was a big fan of Alex Smith when he came in. I liked Alex Smith in San Fran. I liked
Chad Pennington.
Chad Pennington. See, Chad Pennington, I feel like no. Chad Pennington, you had moments where I thought he was like doing enough to keep the team relevant, but he wasn't really good. And I think there's a such thing as like a game manager that's just like keeping the game, like keeping you in it. And then there's like the game manager that can actually because like Kirk Cousins is the kind of quarterback that keep you in the game and it can probably keep you in the game if you're down by 14. He'll like
Right.
bring you back into it.
Yeah, he can get you to the playoffs at least.
Yeah. Chad Pennington, he's the kind of game manager, like he'll keep you doing, like he'll keep the scheme going, like doing it. But I feel like if you're losing by 14, the game is over when you got a guy like Chad Pennington. Like I feel like we need to have levels of game management because
Mhm.
there's certain quarterbacks and I think to a point where you got to have a game manager, a quarterback who's a game manager and a game
Right.
changer at the same time, because that's essentially what Tom Brady was.
You need a game changer.
Like Tom
You
Brady
need-
was a game manager and a game changer at the same time, because
along the way, yeah, he went from being a game manager at the beginning to a game changer by the end.
because there
he
were games
basically
where like
had
you
the
look at
system.
Tom Brady and like, oh, this game is over. Like I remember when the Eagles played the Eagles played the Patriots in the second game, where the Eagles had a good enough margin of separation, and then the Patriots came back and they had the lead, and I'm like, oh no, don't do this to me again. But then the Eagles came back because the defense was just phenomenal that year. But
Mhm.
I feel like there's the connotation. We gotta sit down and like really break it down, because I think there should be levels of game manager, levels of game changer. Like there's a game changer. You got a quarterback who can change the game with his legs. Got to change the game with his arms. And there's a game manager like Josh Dobbs. Would you consider Josh Dobbs a game manager or a game changer? Because
Game
now
manager,
we're
so-
having a different Josh Dobbs is now, we're looking at him differently than we did before, because we knew him to be just that backup quarterback that was just a backup quarterback. But for a little bit, the conversation was, could Josh Dobbs essentially be a starter or a bridge quarterback that can hold your team down? Because he was doing a good enough job. I feel like Arizona
There's a couple
made
of those around the league.
yeah, and I feel like Arizona made they fumbled when they let him go. They should have let Kyler like just rest a little bit longer. There's no reason to bring Kyler back this year. He was like he was going, what was that, 13 weeks? I could
Mhm.
be wrong. There's no reason to bring him back. Let him just sit, let Josh Dobbs, because the only people you hurt in that sense is you hurting Josh Dobbs. If they kept them, I don't know. It was just a big no for me in that whole situation. You hurt Clayton Tune essentially because you bring him in for one game and then he just looks like dog shit. I mean,
Right.
the guy that lifts everybody, you got to elevate.
Keep talking.
Of course. But yeah, so I think we got to think that there's more levels to what a game manager is. We got to look at it, because the kind of game manager that Tom Brady is, or the kind of game manager that Kirk Cousins is and Josh Dobbs, they're both game managers, but they're different types of game managers. And then you got guys like Anthony Richardson and Jalen Hurts. They're game changers, but they change the game in different ways. Anthony Richardson is a guy that you have to be afraid of his running ability, but you don't have to really be that scared of what they're going to do passing the ball, because the receivers aren't there. Jalen Hurts is the kind of guy that you're scared, because if he get off running that ball, the game changes, because now you know that you still have to be scared of that running ability, but he also has the arm to put the ball to some very, very good receivers. So I think we have to really think about what the game manager is and what the game changer is, and really like elevate it to different levels, because it's not as simple.
Do something with that.
Yeah, there's so many levels to it, because we can't just say Brock Purdy is a game manager and pit him at the same level as a guy like Drew Lock.
No, that's insulting as fuck. That's insulting to Brock Purdy. I mean, that man's been to a Super Bowl 2 years in a row. No, whatever. I know what I mean.
Yeah, he was there.
He's been around the Super Bowl a lot early in his career. He's had a lot of fucking success.
Yeah.
Drew Lock hasn't had any damn success.
Yeah, so I think if we can, because I'd call Brock Purdy 100%. He is a game manager, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there are levels to this shit,
Yeah.
and that's what we have to sit down and really figure out what those
Is
levels
Brock
are.
Purdy better than Kirk Cousins?
Is Brock Purdy better than Kirk Cousins? Listen, I feel like Brock Purdy has had more weapons than Kirk Cousins for quite a while. Kirk Cousins hasn't really had the weapons that he has. But at this, I mean, if you compare their stages in career, yes, but then again, he's always had better weapons than Kirk Cousins throughout his career.
Okay. Is Brock Purdy better than Russ?
No.
Hmm.
And this is why I
Even
say
after
he's
last
not.
season?
No, he's probably better than this stage of Russ, but I'm going to say this. Russ has won a Super Bowl. So you can never just be like, because I'll go here and I'll go in there and say the ultimate game manager to me, Trent fucking Dilfer, won a Super Bowl.
Well, yeah. Yeah,
He won,
number one at the top of the list. He's got to be.
yeah, he won the Super Bowl just managing the game, not doing much, but he won the fucking game. He won the big one. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I can't argue that. So I mean, until Brock Purdy wins that Super Bowl,
Hey, nobody gonna be making no case for Trent Dilfer for the Hall of Fame now. You know,
hell no. Trent Dilfer's not even anywhere near the Hall of Fame question. Ooh.
They had the run game, they had the defense, they had everything. They had the defense, like the defense.
The defense. They had the defense that everybody's defense aspires to be.
Like I swear, I remember 3 games in a row they won with field goals and just like field goals and defensive plays and shit. Like you gotta be kidding me.
There was a time where they did not, like every year, they did not have a single quarterback that you knew who the hell they were.
One of the best teams I've ever witnessed.
I remember there was a time where they had old ass Randall Cunningham as the Ravens quarterback. Now that should sell a lot. Randall Cunningham was like old man Randall Cunningham. I got to witness old man Randall Cunningham quarterbacking for the new, like, what were they, 3 or 4 years old as an organization?
Yeah, they were still in their diapers at that point.
And he led this team. He was winning games with this team. That defense was, when they say that the defense is a crutch, that defense was a crutch. So again,
the greatest crutch of all time. Well, maybe Tom Brady. No, Vinatieri. Maybe Vinatieri.
Vinatieri was. Yeah. All right, next topic, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, this totally slipped my mind. Good job on the graphic too.
Yeah,
there was a 30 rebound game for the 5th time this century, yo.
See, I thought this was one of those things that happened a lot more than it's happened, but I guess it hasn't. I guess this is like an accomplishment. I mean, not that. I mean, of course, 30 rebounds is an accomplishment, like, but it's just like I thought it happened a lot more with the level of talent that's been in this league. I thought it happened at least 20 to 40 times, but clearly I'm wrong, as I don't know much about basketball.
No, as the game's gotten more athletic and players gotten bigger. And we actually, I mean, because before there was a time where you had like Wilt and Russell out there getting like 30 rebounds a game consistently. It was ridiculous. But I mean, the game evolved and got taller. Players got better at rebounding. Players got better at shooting and scoring layups. And, the game got talent-wise just improved. Plus, it wasn't as fast as it was in the earlier days. So it happened a few times over the 70s, 80s, 90s. It happened probably 10, 20 times since the 60s, but then it just dropped off this century. It's only happened 5 times. I mean, I can name them off for you. It was obviously Nurkic the other day with the 31. Dennis Freedom had 30 in a game about 3 years ago. 3
Who was
years before
Cantor?
that, Dwight Howard did. And in 2012, Andrew Bynum had 30. Kevin Love had 31 in 2010. And before that, the last person was Charles Barkley to get 33 in 96. So it's not a common occurrence like it used to be. I mean, it happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times in the 90s and 5 times in the 80s. So, it was not really a common occurrence. So it should be celebrated a little. I mean, because who knows when you're going to actually see it again? Could be 3 years from now, could be 10, 20 years from now. Who the hell knows? Yeah.
So is this one of those situations where you say that maybe people are just shooting the ball way too much, shooting like low percentage shots?
Did you see the All-Star game?
Just way too much shooting.
Yeah.
And just a lot of people, it's just like, all right, if I'm not a big man, I'm not going to go after the rebound. Because that's basically what it is. A lot of people, more people are getting rebounds because it's just a lot of just stepping back and just.
Right. It's just, it's not the same game. I mean, it's more opportunity to get 30 rebounds. Rebounding is not as much of a priority as it usually used to be because it's more get out, get ahead of the ball, get back in transition, things like that. That's where the game's gone. So it's not really as much a priority. So this may not be something we see for a long time. It's a hell of an accomplishment, though. That's all I'm trying to say. It's a good stat because you don't see it often.
Right. I can agree with that.
I mean, it's not 30 assists in a game, which we won't see for a while, but I mean, it's something. It's something that should be like, wow, good shit. Applause.
Whoa, because I'm pretty sure I've done that on 2K.
Yeah, I'm sure I have on 2K. I mean, for the longest time, all I made was centers. That bullshit game.
I put it on rookie. Boom. Yeah.
I never had the heart to do that on my player. Never had the heart to put it on rookie and my player. I would have heard something.
Oh yeah, I do it every game. Let's move to the next topic. Ooh, now this is something I've been excited about because this story is just enlightening. So, in light of the scandals of WWE, Vince McMahon has sold 25% of his owning shares at the TKO Group. TKO Group, Vince is the company that merged UFC with WWE in a sense to form the TKO Group. After the merger, Vince McMahon went from majority ownership to 37% ownership at TKO Group. He just sold a quarter of that, which probably around 8-9% of the entire shares of the company, leaving him with maybe 20 or so. So, which I think they need to sell the rest of it. Just might as well just cut your losses at this point because it's not going to happen. Just get your money, cut your losses, walk away, and take your son-in-law with you. I'm joking. I like Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He's a great guy. Paul Levesque.
His name is Paul Levesque.
John Paul Levesque.
Yes, that guy.
And speaking of him, he has offered the great Philly guy Paul Heyman to be in the Hall of Fame, and Paul Heyman accepted.
A great Philly.
Yeah, he's a Philly guy, I think. I don't know.
All right. I'll take over this one. All right. So, when it comes to wrestling in the 90s, there were 3 companies that mattered: WWF, WCW, and a little upstart out of South Philly called ECW. Okay. Anybody who was in the know knows ECW was the superior product until the Attitude Era. ECW was the best.
Yes, I agree there.
You had Taz, you had the Dudleys, you had so many before they were stars come through there. What, Benoit came through there, Malenko came through there, Ray came through there, Eddie came through there. All of this little company with barely a budget to even speak of. It took them forever to even get the television, but they kept fighting. They were basically that little motherfucker that never stayed down. You couldn't keep them down. And all of that was manned by Paul Heyman. All of that was basically the essence of Philadelphia, hardcore style in the ring. ECW was a sight to behold. I wish y'all were there to see it, but all of y'all are too fucking young to remember that. Y'all just remember that ECW won whatever WWE shit in the late 90s. But speaking of that, he also, for a while there, ran SmackDown. Probably the best era of SmackDown when SmackDown was beating Raw. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so Paul Heyman, he's done it. He's been successful. He took on the big boys and didn't come close to winning, but he put up a good fight. Paul Heyman is a Hall of Famer. As a manager, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, early Steve Austin, the Dangerous Alliance. Yeah, he's a hell of a manager. He's a Hall of Fame manager. He's a Hall of Fame owner. The people that work for him probably never got paid what they deserve, but that's all right because they all still love him to this day. And that's as big a testament as any to the legend that is Paul Heyman. He's a Hall of Famer, but not as a person. He probably sucks as a person. I don't know, but he's a Hall of Famer. So congratulations to both.
I've heard stories that he's a great person. I've heard that he's very down to earth. He's very realistic. I heard good things about him as a person.
Well, that's cool.
But also, apparently, Vince McMahon, or he who should not be named.
Right, that man is Voldemort now.
Yeah. So he offered a Hall of Fame induction for Paul back in the day, and Paul declined. So I think that's very telling, considering that Paul Heyman might have didn't like the guy back then. He probably knew just how disgusting of a person he was. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised how many people knew just how disgusting Voldemort was back then.
We'll probably never know the full extent of who knows. Much as people want to know all the information, we never will. We never will. There'll be multiple books on the subject, and which you'll never get the full truth. So, just like everything else in the world.
There's only two people that know the truth, 100%, and they won't tell it. Well, unless you're in the courtroom.
She might write a book. She should write a book. I mean,
that book will sell.
Yeah, she's got to have book offers out there. Miss Grant, and write a book.
Write a book. Not only write a book. Come on the show. Let us interview. Let us small time douche nozzles interview you, and then go write a book. Sell your movie rights. Oh my gosh, that's gonna make so much money because there's not a soul out there that's not gonna watch that. I'm pretty sure my wife. Damn.
No, I definitely will watch that. But they ain't going to show the best scene.
Shit, you know what? Nowadays, with the way TV is, and especially if they put it on streaming services, it's gonna be on there. You're gonna see down her face.
I think we're being too insensitive about this subject. Yeah.
No, it's not too soon to be insensitive because at this point, everybody has seen it. Everybody's got to have their emotional and be like, oh my God, that's gross. There's time to laugh about it because guess what? She's going to get paid in the end. She's going to give them their karma that they deserve. Listen, we can laugh about this because I'm sure she's going to laugh about this when she's counting her paper. She's going to be counting that money and she's going to be laughing like, no, that time I had shit on my head.
Right. She going to have so much money, she's going to be using it as TP.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get out of this disgusting story and move on to the next topic. So two things. And it always seems to come full circle. The NFL is considering expanding their season from 17 games to 18 games. Just go back to 16 games. It's like too much math. I don't like math. Like, y'all pissing me off. There's no reason.
Look, here we go. Let's keep it simple. First week of September to last week of December. Let's not make it more
No
complicated
preseason.
than it has to be.
We don't even need
There you go.
preseason games.
Hey, that's what they keep saying. You don't need them.
Shit, just
I mean, there's other ways to
send
get you on the roster and getting your players injured and having us, having to yeah. There's other
We're
ways to
not
figure
watching
it
that
out.
shit.
Right.
That's the crazy thing. We're not even watching preseason. Like, don't even do live preseason games. Don't even do it.
Right.
It's a waste. Get rid of the preseason.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'll watch a preseason game, but really only up to a point. Like, I can't imagine I've seen too many preseason games into the fourth quarter. I mean, if it was like a 3-point game or something, yeah, I'd probably sit there and watch it if it was a good game. But if it wasn't a good game, if it was like a dragged out game full of players that didn't belong out there, no, I ain't watching that. I'm not watching a 12-7 football game in the fourth quarter. I'm not going to give a damn. Like, no, preseason.
The last time I watched a preseason game, the last time I watched a preseason game, the Arizona Cardinals were still in the same conference as the Eagles. Also, the Seattle Seahawks were still in the AFC. Deuce Staley was still an Eagle.
Damn. If you need reps, can't you just scrimmage another team? I mean, they do that.
Yeah.
So just go scrimmage another team.
Who else? The last time I seen a preseason game, like sat down, was like, oh, the preseason on, and turned it on. I'm pretty sure Byron Leftwich might have been the quarterback for the Jaguars. No. Mark Brunell was the quarterback for the Jaguars. Last time I watched a preseason game, it may have been Super
All right.
Bowl.
Well, there you have it. GQ does not like preseason games.
I got shit to do. Because it's not like it comes on Sunday. It comes on in the middle of the week.
It could be on whatever day. Yeah, we just playing on Tuesday afternoon. It's at 5 p.m.
Yeah, I got shit to do.
Okay. And I guess we're supposed to rush home to watch that Jaguars versus Bears preseason game. I mean, Jaguars-Falcons more likely. Preseason game. Yay.
Like, is it the Hall of Fame game that's a preseason game? Make it a regular season game. If you want to make money, cool. I get it. You want to make a little bit of extra money. Then extend the regular season. Fuck it.
Right. That's what they want. I mean, I'm just seeing it as a money grab. I mean, they're going to have to give something to the players, probably expand the rosters again. Contracts are going to have to change, all that mess. But
true. But
it's like it's only for the networks in the league to get more money in their pockets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the players get a cut, but I don't know. I wouldn't imagine the players would necessarily be for another game and then have to go through the whole process of the postseason. But yeah.
Listen, I don't care what
each
they want.
Game seems like a fucking lot. Then have to win 3 more to be the champion.
Do what you gotta do.
4 more to be the champion. So yeah.
Damn.
That's a lot of fucking games.
I think they need to go back to the format where there was 2 teams they could buy.
But yeah.
I think it should be that way. So I would actually, what I would do, instead of, like, I think they should push, instead of having preseason games, start the season 4 weeks sooner. Well, you were gonna have a
August football.
Yeah.
No, them big boys like Trevondre Sweat going to die out there. They can't run it.
They got to do that's the NFL's job to do with player safety, because they'll do the same thing. They had preseason. Why not do the same thing in the NFL? Shoot, fuck it. You do it. You got preseason. Do right. I mean, if you're gonna have them playing out there, have them playing out there. That's the coach's job to protect the players. That's the league's job to protect the players. You trying to find ways to make money. And I'm gonna tell you, this is we talking business. It's a sports satire, pop culture, entertainment, and business. And this is a business. Look at a GQ business. Listen, you want to try to make more money? make the season a little bit 4 weeks earlier instead of having a preseason. Boom, and then this is what you do: have a week off before the playoffs start. Extend the playoffs. You'll make more money because the playoffs. That's where everybody watching. Everybody watching the playoffs. Extend the playoffs. Make the playoffs more of a spectacle. Make the playoffs as something more interesting. Like make the
It's
Pro
the
Bowl.
playoff. It's already a spectacle. But yeah, I mean, I guess they could turn it up a few notches and just lean into it. I mean, yeah, kind of like soccer. We should embrace more of the soccer stuff over here, especially with football.
I'd even do once regular season end, do like maybe a 2 week where like teams will essentially like the two, let's say we got the 16th ranked team gets to compete for like constellation like they do in fantasy football. Because I remember I had the best record in my fantasy league, and then I ended up the 7th ranked team.
Yeah, you did. You fucking collapsed like the Eagles.
So why don't we do that? Do that. That is interesting. Why don't you put these teams to the test? Do that. Consolation. Do a consolation playoffs on the side. Shit, why not?
Okay.
Let
me break this down. Okay, so by that nature, we would have had what's that? Bears Cardinals, Bears Patriots, Bears Giants, matches like that. Giants. Yeah, this. Do you want to watch that at end of this season? You want to be watching Bears Patriots?
Something at stake. If there's something at stake,
there was nothing at stake, though. They'd have to. What would it be like the toilet bowl where they get a golden little toilet?
Yes.
And it flushes. It makes a flush sound.
Listen, the NBA made an in-season tournament with a worthless trophy, and they try to make it seem like this is another championship.
I'm totally cool with.
Listen, if you can have an in-season tournament in the NBA, you can have an extra 2 weeks to the season.
Then we have something for the Cowboys to play for.
Yep, there you go.
Golden toilet, golden bidet.
Let's do it. Why not?
Bidet. It looks like it would actually need a bidet. He's too old to do it itself.
Shoot, the like you see how the college has like.
I don't know. Maybe we just made some next level shit up. I don't know.
Yeah, like college.
Right in, if you want to watch the battle for the golden bidet.
Yeah,
y'all want to watch the bidet bowl? Let us know.
And not only that, but not only that, Boulevard. Like you got you got the Rose Bowl in the like they should have games like that where there's like it like adds something to the rivalry, not just bragging rights, like actually add something like, hey, we got the golden axe, you know.
Right, like you get these matchups twice a year.
Like,
but then you get these other matchups you might get every 4 to 6 years.
Yes.
Put some value on those.
Make it more exciting.
Like a KC versus Detroit matchup in Detroit. Why can't we just have some like the bronzed log or whatever they use? Like college does. There's all sorts of those matchups.
Give me Redskins versus the Chiefs for the they're not the Redskins anymore, but you get what I mean. Like give me the Chiefs Bowl, or like the Indian Bowl.
I saw something about something that wanted to name back some native group that wanted to name back.
Yeah, and I think that's a conversation for a later day.
Because he was like Wolf or somebody.
Yeah,
I don't remember. I didn't really pay attention. Like y'all ridiculous. Should have never changed to begin with. I agree. The only people offended weren't the people that it was speaking on. So whatever.
But I think that there's just so much that you can be doing. Because like here's my thing. My wife didn't watch a single game of football at all until the Super Bowl. She didn't watch anything. She watched the Super Bowl. If you make so many different games just up the standard, everybody's going to be talking about it. More people's going to watch it. You're going to have people that don't even observe the game watching it. Give us something more. You'll get more eyes on the game.
How do
But
we
I
get
think-
those people to get eyes on us?
I have no idea. Maybe we get somebody. I think we do something controversial, but
I think we need a Super Bowl ad.
oh yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
And also another story that I want to get into before we get completely because everything we talk about always comes full circle back to the Philadelphia Eagles. The NFL did their investigation,
Ooh.
and it turned around that there was no evidence, no standing, no reason to ban the tush push.
Woo!
And it's so funny that they're not going to ban the tush push because the tush push is now irrelevant. Jason Kelce is no longer the center of the team.
Swear word. All of the swear words.
And it's about to get worse. It gets worse. Rumor has it that Fletcher Cox, the long-time defensive tackle and defensive captain and playmaker for the Eagles, is also considering retiring this year. And the rumor has it that he has made his decision and he's probably going to retire. It gets worse. Oh, I thought this is over. What are we going to do? I'll tell you what we're going
We're
to
gonna lose
do.
our damn minds.
We're going to cry about
So
it.
we're losing all the veteran leadership.
Mm-hmm. We're keeping Brandon Graham because he said we got to go back and do it again. Dude, just go. You don't want to be a part of this anymore.
Come on.
Just go.
You
You
deserve
don't want
better.
parts of this.
Like this
You don't wanna
team's
do
going
this.
backwards right now. Where we're standing, we're going backwards. Where the team isn't looking better in the future.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I
there's still
wonder-
hope. We got money. We'll have cap space. We'll have draft picks. But
What the only thing working for the Eagles right now is the fact that we play in the NFC East because the Giants and the Commanders are garbage.
and will be
They're
for the
suck.
foreseeable future.
Yeah. So that's the only thing working in the Eagles' favor right now.
I mean, maybe Russ goes to the Giants. It's a possibility. He does like the spotlight. He seems like he likes the spotlight. He's at all the damn events with his wife, holding her purse. Or is that his purse? I don't know. Man bag, whatever.
Or he's holding her pocket. She's got her hand in her pocket because she's his boss.
Well, yeah.
But that's all I have. I ain't got nothing else to cuss at these fans about because they here. If y'all still here, y'all should probably hit that like button. Hit that like button.
Yeah. I got a thing to close out with.
All right, but before y'all close out, while he's getting what he's gonna get, go hit that like button and hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. Tell us what you want to see next. Boulevard. Close it out for me. Tell me what you got. What you got for me?
Oh, I'm trying to find this thing on this thing about this thing, and it's too far down the thing, so it's taking me a minute to find it on the thing.
Oh, okay. Is it sports? Is it satire? Is it pop culture?
Yeah,
is it entertainment? Is it business? It's something. It's something. It's something.
It is something. It is that.
Oh.
Yes, it is a thing.
It's not an axolotl though. Axolotl.
No. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm stupid.
There's actually a Pokemon. There's actually a Pokemon.
Le están robando a una persona, wow. Wow, qué fuerte.
Shout out to ninjas at the movies.
No puedo creerlo. Tiene una pistola y es el seguridad del banco, es el que tiene los camiones. Tiene una pistola.
I know Pistola. He helped him. Like, here, let me help you get the boot off.
Está robando la caja fuerte.
Steal my pants.
La ha abierto.
Good luck at your job. All right, that's what I had. Now, where were we?
I got a comment on that.
Mhm.
Being a professional in that industry. I work in the security industry. I am the owner of a security firm
They know by now. You say it every
in the
episode.
Mid-Atlantic. Yeah, but you know, because our fans don't seem to return, we got like a 2%
This is me
return.
rolling my eyes at it.
This pisses me off because it's like, how do you let this happen? And that's why I say, like, who this can't be Brinks. This can't be Brinks. It has to be one of their subcontractors because it just doesn't make sense. You
You
never
get robbed out your pants, though. Like,
yeah, it's
at a certain
embarrassing.
point,
It's
like,
embarrassing.
you
for the
just have to feel like they're just doing this shit to mock you. Like you rolled over too easily or something, and now they're just making fun of you. Like, yeah, I'm just going to take
Yeah.
everything I can from this dude till he fight back.
It really is embarrassing because you get robbed out your pants. He pulled your pants
It's
off.
extremely embarrassing. Not that you got robbed. That happens. But that you got robbed out your pants.
And
In
then
public.
you probably got fired. And then you're probably going to get fired at the end of the day.
Yeah,
They're going to
he
fire you.
definitely losing his
He's
job.
definitely losing his job.
Oh, yeah.
Probably lost his company a couple $1 million. And because the reason why I say a couple $1 million because it might have been about $500,000 on that truck, but maybe 200,000. But
I
not
never
only
looked into it.
is that people probably are like, "Ooh, I'm about to not use Brinks because they people don't know how to fight."
Oh, yeah. That definitely fucked up their bottom line. Like their
Yeah.
reputation. I mean, on camera, no less. To that level of absurdity, yeah. It's like, yeah, I definitely would question my business with them. Because
I
that's the
changed my
people
name.
they hire, and they hiring some idiots out there who can't even keep their pants on the job. So you can't really keep somebody that takes their pants off at work.
Yeah. Creep. He's
Right?
a creep.
Pervert. Look at him walking down the street with no pants. What's wrong with him? Shame on you.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I have one thing left to say to you all. Well, two things.
Yeah.
We can't all be starters. So put your pants on. And Boulevard, you can tell them what else they can do.
Well, after they put their pants on, they can put their belt on, their socks, their shoes, maybe a nice collared shirt and a jacket or a vest, and hit the bench.